Kind of got me, man. I started to get real loose, man. So
Nice video.
Is it recording now?
Yeah, it's recording. So when the red button is ready, meaning that it's recording.
I can get this.
He stayed in this house for only 2 years. He died in this house and he is buried on this compound. Dr. Dubis came to Ghana by invitation of the Kwame Nkrumah in 1961 with the reason that Dr. Kwame was having an idea of making a document for Africans. And the title of this document is the Encyclopedia Africana, Dictionary of African Biography. This was the document to know the true history of Africans, who they are, what they have, and what they can use their resources for. And also come together to stop them for their rights and help each other develop their countries on their own. Dr. Dubis was a Pan-African leader. He was a communist, a man who believed in society, fighting for the freedom of blacks. And the main motive of Pan-Africa was that the descendants of Africa will have a common goal. And this common goal was for them to come together, fight for their freedom, and help each other develop their country. So the Kwame Nkrumah idea of making the encyclopedia for Africans was coming from the Pan-African idea, which made this old man find out interested to come to Ghana in his old age, just come and help the Kwame Nkrumah complete that document. They spent only 2 years on this document. They complete volume 1 to volume 5. Where you are standing now is the living room of Dr. Dubis. And we can see something here. What you see here is the original kitchen cabinet used by Dr. Dubis and the tea towel used by Dr. Dubis in 1961. This place is not a kitchen. The kitchen is just behind. This one. We have small entrance here that leads to the kitchen. This is the main door to the kitchen. For this old man not to stress himself, walking that way to the kitchen for anything, just stand here, order anything he needs from here, to the living room or to the dining room. When this great man came to Ghana, old age, he didn't come alone. He came with a second wife, Mrs. Shelley Dubis, who was a playwright, a composer, and activist. Shelley came to Ghana as the first female director to Ghana Broadcasting Authority. Shelley stayed in this house for a very long time. When the Nkrumah was overthrown, life became somewhat easy for Shelley to stay in this house because Dr. Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown by a military government. And so anything concerning Dr. Kwame Nkrumah needed to find his or her own way. So Shelley moved from this country to Egypt with Fatia Nkrumah. Fatia Nkrumah is Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's wife. She is from Egypt. So they were staying in Egypt for some time. Mrs. Shelley Dubis was suffering from breast cancer. So she went to China for a surgery and she didn't return again. She died in China in 1977 at the age of 82 years old. Her ashes is in this house. She requested the ashes to be brought back to Ghana, and they died as a Ghanaian. Okay?
Yes.
We are moving to the next room.
Okay.
If you want to sit, you can sit. This room was the office of Dr. Dubis, now turned into a public library. We have 3,500 books in here, and this place is open to everyone from Monday to Saturday. It's free to come to this library to come and read any book of your choice from Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, Henry Clark, Dr. Dubis himself, Booker T. Washington, and other Pan-African writers. You can pass it on. Trenton in Massachusetts. Dr. Du Bois came to this house when he was 93 years old. He died in this house when he was 95. For now, if Dr. Du Bois is supposed to be alive, he'll be 153 years old. We always celebrate Dr. Du Bois' birthday in the month of February, in addition to Black History Month. Black History Month is a month of celebrations to honor the past and the present life of Black people for them to welcome home. Any country in Africa, Black History Month is every day, anywhere. But for this house, we always celebrate Black History Month in the month of February, in addition to Dr. Du Bois' birthday. Now, this hall is not dedicated to all African presidents, prime ministers, and everyone who fought in his own way for the freedom of their country and for themselves. In the picture we see here from our left, the third one on top is the first female president in Africa, Mrs. Ellen Johnson. And now we have the second one, the second female president in Africa, from Tanzania. Recently this year, after the death of their president. Dr. Du Bois was a civil rights activist fighting for the freedom of blacks. And he always quotes, the cost of liberty is less than the price of repression. Okay, and there is something here. You can come around. You can see something here. These three things we see here was with this great man when he came to Ghana in 1961. This one is a soil, the earth around Dr. Du Bois' house in Massachusetts.
He took the soil from America.
Yes, please.
Okay.
And this one is water in Du Bois' house.
In Massachusetts.
Yes, please. And this one is another graveside soil of the family. With the water in Africa, we believe that if someone is old age and the person about to die, sometimes this person noticed by themselves. Like Dr. Du Bois, who was 93 years old, trying to find his roots back to Africa. This man knew that all Misc died in Africa, not only in Ghana, but the whole Africa, because he was trying to find his roots. And with this water, we also believe that if this old person or a sick person about to die, at the moment of critical and there's no doctor around to help that person, what any ordinary person can do to help that person is that just give water to the person to drink. The person will calm down and die easily. Any ordinary water. So Dr. Du Bois also believed the same thing. In case he is about to die and struggle to death, he might need water to drink. Water from nowhere, but from his hometown, so they can go in peace. But we ask why this water is still here. Dr. Du Bois didn't get a chance to drink this water. Nothing was wrong with him. He went to sleep on 27th August 1963 and he didn't wake up. And with the soil around his house, we all move away from home. Sometimes we miss the looks or the nature of anything that you have placed in our house. For Dr. Du Bois coming to Africa to stay here for a very long time, but all miss something about his house. So for him not to travel back to his hometown to look at anything but the soil alone, in case he misses anything, just look at the soil and be okay with that. And with the soil around the grave sites of the family, the first wife of Dr. Du Bois is Mrs. Nina Gomez Du Bois, died in 1950 at the age of 69. She is the woman who had two children, Dr. Du Bois, Bangat Gomez Du Bois and Jolanda Du Bois. Bangat is the first son of Dr. Du Bois, who died 18 months after his birth. So for a loving father and a husband, to remember this family always brought this soil along with him. And by bringing this soil to Ghana was that he was trying to bring the whole family together with him to Ghana for them to come and rest with their ancestors. Okay? Yeah. You're done? And you're moving on? Only man does say that time is long. So as we live, we need to believe in life. The main reason why this great man traveled all the way to Ghana, spending a month on the sea, was the document we see in front here. The Encyclopedia Africana Dictionary of African Biography. And over there is the bust of Dr. Du Bois. That's Du Bois' handwriting, some of his diaries, and the short list. The picture A is the father of Du Bois, I'm explaining to you. The B, the little baby, is Dr. Du Bois on the lap of the mother, Mary Sylvia Bagat. The one standing is the cousin of the boys. See the little boy looking like a girl in the stockings is not a girl, but a boy. Dr. Du Bois himself when he was 4 years old. The down picture of C is the first son, the first wife, and Dr. Du Bois himself. And can we identify something that we have seen on this compound in this picture? Anything? Okay.
Yeah.
That's Kwame.
Yes.
And then?
The boys.
Okay.
This is
I'm not
right.
talking about the people.
The curtains.
Okay. The one outside living room.
The chair. The window.
The chair outside at the porch. Okay. And then? The cane over there.
The cane.
Oh,
Okay. How do you see it?
sorry, I'm not good at that. I guess I can't.
And the bust over there. This picture was taken in the living room of this house on the last birthday Dr. Du Bois celebrated on Earth or in this house. With Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Shirley Graham Du Bois, Fatia Nkrumah, and himself. Who died in China in 1977, requested the ashes to be brought back to Ghana where they buried the husband. So they are still married in heaven. We can see different stools with different symbols in here. These are the welcome gifts given to them by the traditional council of this great country after they attained citizen in Ghana. For them to welcome back to their roots, all these stools were the welcome gifts given to them. We can see flag of schools and a card from different schools in here. These are the schools they both attend. They give us donation to them. And the pictures we see in here is the state funeral led by Dr. Kwame Nkrumah and Mrs. Shirley Graham Du Bois in 1963. Now my question is coming. Lift your head up. Look at the roof. Does it look like something? Does it represent something to you? Have you seen it somewhere before? You have been here, so please don't talk.
Okay.
Okay, I'm listening.
You got us on this one. You got us on this one with the roof.
Oh, try. Anything?
Okay.
Not the middle. The middle is apple. No, not the middle. The roof itself.
The whole roof.
It's an octagon, it's a cathedral type.
Oh no.
It looked like a spider web to me.
Okay. And remember the initials of Dr. Du Bois.
The web.
Ah, yeah.
And do you remember the curtains in his personal library?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The middle pattern of it.
Spiderweb.
So this represents Dr. Du Bois' initials. And we know that spider is the one who put its verb. So when Dr. Du Bois came to Africa, the name of him told who he is. So he himself is the spider. And his books, his idea, the role he played in people's life is the web. And we know that spider does not stay at one place. Spider always move around. In any place to find a spider, you find its web behind. Like what we experience here in Ghana now. And in Africa, the local name for spider is Anansi. Anansi, the wise man. So when this man came to Africa, they seemed like a spider. Very wise man, knowledgeable, intelligent, and very detained. And always moving. In any place that he visits, he leaves something behind. In any place that he came in contact, he imparted something in that person. Like Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who became the first president of Ghana. So Dr. Du Bois is saying that it's a challenge to everyone. If your name or your initials does not stand for spider, don't worry at all. In your own ways, you can be like a spider. And don't stay around without your knowledge that you have. Move around with it. Build your world. Positive one. Leave it behind for others to come around and see that you just passed by. Thank you. End of talk.
Thank you.
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to okay, this is our menu. And it's serving us your table mats.
So locally, this is how we do the spinning. I am done with my demonstration. May I know if any of you want to have a try? It is allowed. From green to yellow, then it's ready for harvest. I would like to give you a very brief history about cocoa in Ghana. In the year 1798, there was a man named Tetekwachi. He went to Fernandopo, the present day Guinea-Bissau. He went there on a missionary tour. So when he returned to Ghana, he brought just a seed from that place. So originally, cocoa is not from Ghana. Cocoa is believed to have been originated from the amazing forests of South America. So when the man brought the seed, he planted it at Mampokuapem, in the eastern part of Ghana. Over time, it flourished. And the farmers around that area expressed interest. They also started planting the cocoa. So within a twinkle of an eye, almost all the forest area in Ghana, people started planting cocoa. So I quite remember from the year 1957 to the year 1980, Ghana was a leading producer of cocoa in the whole world. But 3 years later, that was 1983, there was a bushfire, which burned almost all Ghanaian cocoa. And La Côte d'Ivoire took over. So as I'm speaking, La Côte d'Ivoire is leading the world market. It will take Ghana about 3 to 4 years to catch up. So we are replanting the cocoa, and I believe by 4 years' time, Ghana will still be at the top of the ladder. But one reason is we share a boundary with Côte d'Ivoire. And along the border, we have a lot of Ghanaian farmers there. Instead of bringing Ghanaian cocoa to Ghana, they rather smuggle it to La Côte d'Ivoire for the safer. Because the safer is higher than the city. It's also one of the reasons. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The dollar.
Follow the money.
I want to show you the raw cacao. This is the raw one. It's very, very sweet if you suck, but if you chew, it's bitter. So I want you to try. You take the plastic spoon, you take one, then you suck it. Sorry. Don't chew, just suck it.
Don't chew.
Just suck it.
One down. There's a new tree there. New tree. There's a new
That's the texture.
The
texture.
Oh, okay.
Hey, you gotta spit it out.
It's sweet.
Yeah, you gotta spit it out. Yeah.
Oh, it's the texture. I don't do textures well.
It has a very mucusy kind of.
Wrong word.
No chew, only suck it.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Well, y'all saw it, but yes, texture it will shut everything down for me. Hold on, really.
Chocolate doesn't taste like chocolate.
It just.
It does have a sweet taste to it.
Yeah.
It almost
You
tastes
can
like
get past the little stringy mucus
Yeah.
taste. That part right there
It
kind of
almost tastes like a
slimy.
banana.
Like a banana.
Yeah.
It's early thing.
Yeah, as long as you don't chew it. I ain't trying to chew it though.
Yeah.
All right, who
If you
wants
chew it, nothing will happen. Like, just it's not sweet.
Not sweet, it's just bitter.
Now, please let me show you the process. You see, after
I was just saying while I was doing it.
as a farmer, when you see the color has become yellow, you spread either plantain or banana leaf on the ground, and then you put the seed on the leaves. You cover it for about a week. During that period, fermentation will take place. So after a week, then you take that fermented seed by using the rays of the sun, and then you dry it. When you dry it, the color becomes brown. So this is the dry one. This is the dry bean. Yeah.
Now it's a little chocolate.
Yeah, now we see chocolate. It's after it's dried. Oh, really?
They got a little bit of a process.
No, don't.
Hello, Govi.
So what we just sucked.
Now we have some new communication. Yeah.
Do we bite it?
What's this? Say, "Beya come."
I don't think you're supposed to eat this.
Oh, I think that's
We supposed to eat it?
you can.
Just say, "Afa."
I'm not.
Let me find out first.
Very good.
I'm waiting to talk to the boss before I put it in my
You
mouth.
can, you can. It's just going to be better.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because cocoa is very bitter.
It's better.
Yeah, cocoa is very bitter.
Like,
Oh, it tastes like a nut.
We supposed to eat it?
Oh, why not? You can eat it, but it's not sweet.
Okay. We want to make sure.
Yeah, you can eat it.
it's like a little coffee-esque kind of vibe, crunchy. Yeah.
Yeah, no, please.
No, it's not bad.
It is the bean that we use to manufacture the chocolate. We use that dry bean to manufacture the chocolate. This is the Ghanaian chocolate. We call it King's Bite.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And we also have cocoa butter for the skin. Made in Ghana. Oh, you can smell it.
Cocoa butter made from. Oh, that smells so good.
Yeah, it most likely the skin. It means the skin is very smooth. Very, very
Oh, that
nice.
smells so good.
Yeah.
So they use the bean to make the cocoa,
Yeah, to make the chocolate.
to make the chocolate.
As well as the cocoa butter.
You ain't opening the chocolate.
And also, we have the raw cocoa powder.
Okay.
Okay.
This does not contain milk or sugar. So if you want to prevent hypertension or diabetes, early in the morning you take your warm water and then take a teaspoon of this one, you stir it and then take it for about a week or more. If you keep on using it, there's no way that you're going to have hypertension or diabetes. It's very, very effective. But
Most of our people need to
once
get
the
that.
disease has come, this cannot cure
Back in
it.
the States.
So you can take this before you get diagnosed with diabetes.
Yeah, yeah. It's very, very good.
And you can't put sugar in it.
Some of this.
Because you know that's what we end up doing.
I know us.
Don't put no sugar in it.
You know us.
I know us. That's why I was like, I can't put sugar in it now because we're.
So please, if you want to take it as a beverage, then you add milk and sugar. Yeah. Now,
So you can add guava.
apart from the monetary aspect of the cocoa leaf, the cocoa root is a medicine for the local people. Let me talk about the leaf. The leaf serves as a tonic for a breastfeeding woman. If a woman gives birth to a child from day 1 to 1 month, they use the fresh leaf to prepare a soup and to help the woman produce nice milk for the inborn baby. It's very, very nutritious. Yeah.
I can imagine.
And then the root. The root also serves two purposes. Number one, if you're having a cough, you're coughing, you take the root, you clean it nicely, then you chew it. 3 days, the cough will vanish. If it continues, you have to consult your doctor. Very, very effective. And the other one is for men, those who are very weak in bed.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Yeah. If you're very
Over there laughing.
It's the aphrodisiac.
it's not actually it's not aphrodisiac yet.
It is.
It is. You see,
It's a stimulant for a body part.
yeah. If you're very weak in bed as a man, you take the root plus tiger nut. Do you know tiger nut?
No.
It is sold along the roadside, very, very sweet. That bean, small bean, it is sold along the roadside. So if you add that one to this as a man, you become very strong indeed.
Oh, goodness.
You got to find the
Hercules.
tiger. Go on a quest.
Now you're going to have them pulling over on the side of the road. They looking for the other part now.
And please, for cocoa,
What's the
not,
other
need
piece you get out of
Tiger
Tiger what?
is it
Tiger nut.
tiger nut?
Oh,
Tiger nut.
I want to get on the side of the road.
Somebody.
Okay. And then
Tiger.
let you get the custom.
Y'all gonna try to get some?
I heard that.
Do tiger now.
And please, for cocoa, nothing is thrown away. After taking off the seed, it remains in the pod. So as farmers, we dry the pod just like this one. So after drying them, then we burn the whole thing and then put the ash on the basin. Add water to it for about 3 days. 3 days later, we take that solution and put that solution on fire for 45 minutes. When it reaches the boiling point, then we add palm oil to manufacture what we call the black soap. So black soap consists of cocoa pod plus palm oil. That is all. Nothing is added. Purely natural.
Say that again.
Our people so
I am
We got it
saying
on video. No.
For cocoa, nothing is thrown away. After taking off the seed, it remains the pod. We burn the pod, put the ash on the basin, add water to it for about 3 days. 3 days later, you take that solution, put it on the fire for 45 minutes. When it reaches the boiling point, then you add palm oil to manufacture what we call the black soap. So black soap consists of cocoa pod and then palm oil. That is all.
That's it.
It's purely natural. Nothing is added. Yeah. Let me show you how it works.
Not some of ours. What's in that stuff? Oh, wow.
So that is the black.
Look at that.
It's very, very effective. It makes the skin very smooth. If there's any rash in the body, to go away. You see, during the COVID, before the introduction of the sanitizers, we were using this one. Yeah,
That's probably better.
Yeah, that's true.
Wow. Isn't that something?
That's it, huh?
That's it.
Cocoa pods and the palm oil.
yeah.
That's something.
Now, I'm inviting questions.
That's why when they say that people don't have food and stuff, I was like, no, I don't think that's the case.
It's not.
They know what they know what they're doing.
They know exactly. I'm like, well, I'm looking at all the food. I'm saying, well, everywhere. You got the wheel. They go Home Depot right there.
On them.
With the wheelbarrows.
Nobody's starving in this country. Food is everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, they keep letting them in.
I wish they would stop. So you see it right on the cup.
He shaking hands with the president. He gonna keep coming. Look at the traffic here.
You know.
Really rough. Everybody's industrious.
Everybody working out here.
Everybody working.
Everybody working. They cleaning out the sewers.
No, they got good. Oh yeah, look at that.
We was cut from this cloth, but like they say, we got soft.
Yes.
Because I said, y'all know I'm a little special, so I said what I was going to do was become a street vendor in Accra for a day. And walk down the side. I said, I'm not going to be able to balance the thing. That's not going to happen. I'll put the thing in.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, 18 years now. Yeah, it's only once. The kings use it for a day. basin one. You soak it, then it comes soft. The morning you bring it here to pound. Pound like pound fufu. You see? That's all. Enough for more, enough for more. Yeah, you can try your hand on it.
Yes.
Baba.
Let's do.
Let's do.
One of them. Come and join me, please.
Right. I want to learn how to pound fufu.
Boil for another 8 hours. Okay. It comes thicker. This one, here, when you are sick for diarrhea, you put little salt in, then you drink it. 10 minutes, diarrhea stop. Yeah. Okay. Diarrhea.
No more diarrhea.
Yeah. Bad air. The tree
It's from the tree right there.
is bad air.
Right, I need to drink of that right now.
Okay, after boiling for 8 hours, it becomes thicker and darker. You see, when you touch your hand, you can wash, but your glove, not wash. Yeah, stay. So, when you get your die, then you go for your stamps. Let's go and see the stamps. I think grass symbols. You see, the stamps.
Oh, they're the stamps that put
Yeah.
the designs on the
The
cloth.
design of the cloth. Yep. The stamps made from calabash. You know calabash? You see, this is the smaller one. This olden days there, my forefathers used it to store the water to farm. Yeah, but it's a different. You see, this is the one, this is another one, this is the
It's not
thicker one.
coconut shell?
No, it will grow like a watermelon.
Okay.
But it's bigger one. Yeah. Olden days they use cassava jam to carve the design. But the guy is hot. When he dip it, then he cooks. The day designs well. But this one can last for 100 years. We have some here, it's 45 years now. It's working.
Wow.
Yeah. When you dip it, then you put the hot water, then you cleaning it. You put it aside. Can last. Each one has a meaning. That's why I'll show you the box. This,
Are you going to do one?
I'll show you everything.
Okay.
This one came first before Red Scar. This is the first symbol of Adinkra. Because this king of Adinkra, greatness, leadership. And this one, Chinyame, the separate God. Yeah, this is the popular symbol of Ghana. You have Sankofa. You see, this is the bed with 10. You see, but you have 3 carving, 1 meaning. This is the one. One. Yes, you see, 3 carving. But this came first, second, third. The same meaning, but it's 3 carving. Back to your roots. It's not taboo to do your mistakes. Always you done your mistakes. Yeah, it's not taboo to apologize someone. Yeah. We have funtum franfu. Yes, funtum franfu, denchen franfu. 2 crocodiles sharing 1 stomach. You see, you have 2 carving, 1 meaning. This closed, this open. The same meaning, but this first and second. Unity and diversity. Yeah, unity. And this, change your life. Change your life. Symbolizes repentance. We have mathematically wisdom and knowledge. Yes, wisdom and knowledge. We have seriousness. I'm serious to do my work. And this, I'm not afraid of you. You are not afraid of me. Similar defiance. Have many symbols. This ram's horn, similar strength. This teeth and tongue, improve and advise, similar friendship. And this place of worship, and this crocodile is in water, this air, not water, similar adaptability. And this changing oneself, play many roles, dynamic symbol. And other this putting comb, the comb you are using to build yourself, similar beauty. And this butterfly, intelligent. Have many. This hope. This child of God. Summer. Yeah. Have many symbols here.
Tolitia.
Can you hold?
I should
What's the mean hold man? Which? It's a camera?
Yeah. Video.
Video.
I would I was in. Don't turn it. Yeah.
Toli. Koku beje kamera na minko. Hey, beje na minko.
Up. Hold the cloth.
Oh, say me see. Yeah, we channel na.
Yeah. Change the edges. Pick it up. Shake the edges. Now you see our pipe for our now no so the hard.
Honorable me is over consume.
As soon as we get to blue, go ahead and represent, man. Yes, sir. We got you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
So that's the walk. And remember, this is just a demonstration. For the real one, you can take a lot of thread. The next step, you take it off and then fold it into any reasonable size that you want.
Grabbing it with his thumb.
So this is the work material. Sorry. Yeah. And right from here, we are going to set up the loop. It simply means we are going to put every single thread into the weaving apparatus, and then we start weaving. We have 3 types of weaving here: simple weave, double, and then triple. I'm going to show you all of them, and if possible, you try your hands on the simple one. Yeah. So before we go there, if you have any question about the work alone, you can ask me.
Amazing.
Okay, if not, then we are going straight to the weaving center.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Come on, bro. Got you.
Put both feet on the
Look, his feet was like mine was too big to do that.
Let your hand go down a little bit. And you can also increase the speed.
Work it. Work it. Hey.
Okay, thank you very much. So please, from here, we are going out there to continue.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thanks. Follow me. Sorry. So locally, this is how we do the spinning. I am done with my demonstration. May I know if any of you want to have a try? It is allowed. Today, if you have your money to afford, you can buy any cloth that you want to buy. You can buy you a king's cloth.
Well, I'm a queen. I'm gonna get you one.
Over here, Mr. Excuse me. Master, you need Yeah. Now back to this. Kente is more than just a cloth. It is not a piece of fabric by which Ghanaians can be easily and distinctively identify international conferences. As I'm speaking, it's no more a razor for the king. So the question is, what is Kente? What does it mean? First of all, let me explain that word Kente. You see, in a local dialect, when you say Kente, it means gorgeous. I hope you know a peacock. A peacock is a very gorgeous bird.
Yes.
So when you put on the cloth, you become gorgeous. In our dialect, we call it Kente. That's how you get the word Kente. So Kente means gorgeous. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Very good. That's the meaning of that word. Very good. Now, so Kente is more than just a cloth, as I already explained. And it's more than just a cloth, as I've said. It portrays our culture. It is a medium of communication. For example, if you want to communicate to somebody without writing it or open your mouth, you can do so by using the designs. Let's assume if I love you and I feel shy to open my mouth verbally, I can just present to you a type of design. So the moment you see that particular design, it tells you that I love you. And if I hate you, that same process. So we can communicate through the designs. Let me explain this one. This design means the road to success is not a smooth way. It is a rough road. It is a zigzag, filled with obstacles, which can be surmounted only through constant toil. So to be able to succeed in life is not always a straight line. You have to struggle before you can succeed. So this design portrays that. I have another one here. This simply means stop jealousy, don't be jealous. So if you want to tell people jealousy is not good, there's no need to open your mouth. Just put on the cloth. The moment you put on the cloth, they also understand that you are telling them jealousy is not good. So Ghanaian, we don't buy the cloth based on the beauty alone, but rather the message it conveys. Now, the next question is, how do we get the names and the designs of the Kente cloth? Kente designs and names are derived from philosophical concepts, oral literature, individual achievement, historical event, proverbs, human code of conduct, and some attributes of plant and animal life. That is how we get the names and also the designs. Let me take it one by one. Historically, the first president of Ghana was Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. Dr. Kwame Nkrumah married a very beautiful lady called Fatia from Egypt. So the then weavers wove this cloth and named after the president's wife. So we call this one Fatia for short. Whenever you pick this cloth, oh, this is Fatia. And what does Fatia mean? As I've already explained, Fatia was not a Ghanaian. Fatia was from Egypt. Yet she married a Ghanaian president. So this talk about avoiding discrimination, whether a Ghanaian, an American, whoever you are. We are all one person with common destiny, no tribalism, no racism. So that's the message this Kente conveys. We are all one, no racism. Yeah. So sometimes we also name after wild animals like tiger, leopard, zebra, or an eagle. You know, eagle is a very strong bird. An eagle has got focus. So naming a cloth after an eagle means how strong, how focused our leaders are. Recently, Obama came to Ghana. We had Obama cloth. Clinton came, we had Clinton. But as for Trump, no. We were not, because that guy was racist. So we are not happy to name any cloth after him. Yeah, so that's the essence of the Kente cloth. I quite remember 1962, the Queen of England came to Ghana, and it was a very big event, and the weavers wove a cloth and named after that event. We call that cloth in the local dialect Ohima Abagana. Ohima means Queen Mother. That is, the Queen Mother of England has visited Ghana. As I'm speaking, we have that cloth in our archives. It has become history. The last one, I can't remember, somewhere 11 September, if I'm right, Osama bin Laden destroyed World Trade Center. If that situation were to be Ghana, the weavers will weave a cloth and name after that event, so that it will become history for the new generation. That's the essence of the Kente cloth, not just a mere cloth. Now, I'm inviting questions before I continue. Any question? Okay, sorry. If there's no question, then I would like to show you the material for the weaving. The first material is cotton. And cotton is grown in Ghana, especially in the northern part. In the olden days, we were using our hand for the spinning. In fact, it was very tedious work. Nowadays, the demand for Kente is very high. So we cannot rely on this primitive method. After harvesting the cotton, nowadays, it goes through some industrial process. And then we have it in this form. So you just go to the store, buy this type, and then start weaving. Aside cotton, we have silk. This is silk. The silk is not from Ghana, you can feel it. Yeah, silk is from India. Aside silk, we also have rayon. Rayon is from Japan. So the materials are cotton, silk, rayon. Rayon, very good. And recently, this has been introduced. We call this metallic yarn. And we normally use the metallic to weave for ladies because of the shiny nature. Let me see if I can give you an example. Yeah. Good. This is a sample of the metallic. We blend the cotton with the metallic. And normally the women like it more. Yes. And please, whether it's cotton, rayon or silk, we have it in a cone form, like this one. So depending on the weaver, either you buy the cone one or you buy the hands. They are all the same. The only difference is this is already spun in the factory on the plastic spool. So if you buy this type, it will go through this local process. Now I'm coming to demonstrate to you how we do it. And if you don't mind, you also can have a try. Yeah. And we call this one header. This is the beater. This one is the breast beam. And this is the cutter inside the bottom. And what can you go on? So now, yeah, what we're giving right now is the plain width. For the plain width, there's no design, it's plain. It could be any other color. Let me show you a sample. This part alone is the plain width. So for the plain width, there's no design. It's plain. It could be any other color. But the moment the design comes in like this, it becomes double width. For double width, you can see the design as well as the background of the cloth. The background is white. You can only see the design, which is the gold. Very good. So this is the double width. And this portion alone is the simple width. I hope you understand. Yeah. I'm taking my time because when we go back to another stage, I'll give you a test to show me either simple double or triple width. Yeah, so from here, we are going to another stage to show you the triple width. Complex one. Very, very expensive. It takes a lot of time. So I hope now you can identify what is simple, what is double, and then what is triple. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Thank you.
Right now.
Hey. Oh, sorry.
Yeah,
let's make sure this is recording. All right.
So from here, the gentleman will lead you to the chief palace. First of all, let me call.
This will get it well? Well, so as tradition demands, once you come to greet the chief and the elders, they have to come and welcome you. So if permission is granted, they will come and welcome you. Well, before we start with asking of your mission, I would like to talk brief about Chumberman. That is traditional name here. He was named in this village by the name that he used over the J Cameron with Maximum Impact Group. Yeah, he has been doing great, and he is giving good name to the African Americans in the diaspora. So I would like to thank him very much because he has, since he did his naming ceremony, he has been contributing to the development of this village. He has made it as a promise that he will bring as many as possible. So I pray that you would also give a lot of recommendation and also settle on him based on the good thing that he is doing for this village and also for Africa as a whole. So we move on to the next stage of it. Thank you. So as tradition demands, they have to, once you welcome you, they have to ask of permission in the chief palace this afternoon. So I'll let them know that it's all about naming ceremony that you're here. Once you come to the land of your ancestors, once you come to your motherland, you should return with your indigenous, with your local names. So therefore, here the spirit finds itself to be here so that you perform all the rites and then you give your names with meanings to you. So I'll do so in the local dialect. Naturally, not the Subu, study a union man, and here near penny, too very well. The man went for SN. Omaba fee no so de omuntu be nko abraka mu mfa efie ade enko so mba omaba hye da nanti am opani otoso mu atena ye che ye to omudin na omudin a abrofo ye to omba yira no ye sa no famo mu bi ene se kakaka so hene ene na no so aboa amoma bu ye adanwa se na chama opani otoso asas tomba ya omba no idin to So they are welcoming you once again. Good. So I told them that to come for the naming ceremony. So we are beginning with the process, the ceremony of the naming. Great. I'm so happy that souls have come home. And we have to have a 1 minute silence for our past ancestors because it was their survival that we are all alive. So let's all stand up for 1 minute silence for our past ancestors. Piao! Piao! May their soul rest in perfect peace. Let's all pray. Well, naming ceremony is very important with the Ashanti tradition. We the Ashantis believe that when a child is born and the child is unnamed, it means that the child is not with the living souls. So therefore, when a child is born early in the morning on the 7th day, the child must be named. And we do so in the wise family house. But because you are adults, and we have to do it at the chief house, so that you would know that when I did my naming, I did it at the chief house. So on the day we invite people with dignity, people with recognition, people with integrity to witness the naming ceremony. Why so? Because if you just appoint any ordinary person to do the naming, when the child is growing up, the child will learn the attitude of that particular person. So that's why we assemble those with such qualities to witness the naming ceremony. And then we call upon the person, and we give the name to the fellow who is going to do the naming. We give 2 names. That your soul name, and then your family name. The soul name is the name, is the day in which you were born. So when you're born on Monday, you are called Kwejo. Then the female is Ajua. When you're born on Tuesday, it's Kwabena for the male, and the female is Apena. When you're born on Wednesday, the female is Apia, and the male is Kwaku. When you're born on Thursday, you have Yao for the male and Ya for the female. Friday, I'm Kofi, male, and my female is Afia. And then when you're born on Saturday, you have Kwame for the male. So that's why the first president of this country, by name Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, means that he was born on Saturday. And then their female is Ama. When you're born on Sunday, you have Akwasi for the males and Akosia for the females. So these are the soul names that we. Then we move on to the family name. The family name traces your identity. So that is why those people got to know that when the family name is allowed to exist, you can trace your roots easily. So they have to take up the family names. By thanks be to God and our ancestors that this afternoon you are getting back your family names. So the family names, we pick the names from families in the village, people who are live an exemplary life within the Ashanti kingdom, and then we give the names on you. Wednesday was a circle day, so we went to the stool room and prayed over it. The chief did it himself. So these are the names that we. Moreover, our family names have their meanings. So on your certificate, we provide the meanings of your names as well, so that you will know that my name is so, so, and so, and that is the meaning of it. So we will not waste much time. We call upon the chief to name the men, and afterwards we call the queen to name the woman. And afterwards, the family that you are coming to join, that is the Ashanti Kingdom family that you are coming to join, will give you very brief and a very nice history about this group of people that you are coming to join. Now, my name is Blue, say the city alone. With the next sense of a man, the rural, so I tell you, you know, member, so no, and then Dean and the man. So we are starting with Jeff. Come here, so you have to.
Akwasi. Buahi. Akwasi. Buahi. Akwasi. Go ahead.
James. Next person, James.
Akwasi. Amuakun. Akwasi. Amuakun. Akwasi. Amuakun. Right.
Victorious in everything that you do. Seek our ancestors' guidance. Your family, everyone matters in your life. You're seeking courage, you're seeking boldness for you. Ancestors should guide you, should make you strong. Really come home. Happy.
Amen.
So we have a lot of different species of tree here. That is called Cedar odorata. That is the cedar tree origin from Lebanon. We have the Royal Palm Avenue. That is planted, that is 1895. So that Royal Palm have been here 126 years ago. So shall we go?
She robbed real quick.
Okay. This tree was planted in 1895. So we have been here 126 years ago. Okay, so you can make it out of furniture and also building roofing as well. Okay. And over here there is another creeping plant. Yeah. That is called Devil's Ivy. Okay. But this place is not devil, we plant them for beautification of our home. So anytime that you come across this kind of plant, it's called Devil's Ivy. And it's origin from Solomon Island. And over here there is another plant go by the name Agave. So okay, so over here, this is another plant go by the name Agave. So this Agave plant is origin from Mexico and also Brazil. This is what they use for agave drinks and the Shakira drinks. Okay, so anytime that you come across this kind of plant, it's called agave and it's origin from Mexico and also Brazil. So from the agave, there's another plant here go by the name Bed of Paradise. Bed of a Paradise, anytime that you want to have your wedding or your party and you don't want to use the artificial plant, you want to go natural. This is what we use for beautification of your party and also your wedding as well. So anytime that you come across this kind of plant, it's called Bed of Paradise. And we propagate it by root cutting. Without root cutting, you cannot propagate Bed of Paradise. So as we kept forwarding, there is another plant here, go by the name Bumelia. Bumelia look like aloe vera or pineapple. But it's not pineapple and it's not aloe vera. It's called Bumelia. Bumelia is a parasite. It's just there to absorb water from the tree. So very soon it will go off and another one will start generating. So anytime that you come across this kind of plant, it's called Bumelia. It's just there to absorb water from the palm tree or any tree. So very soon it will go off and another one will start generating. Okay. So from the Bumelia, we are heading towards a parasite tree. That is called the Strangler ficus tree. When they take over a tree, they will kill the tree and it will take place. So let me quickly show you the Strangler ficus tree.
All that furniture that they made is made out of these trees.
Over here, this is the parasite tree. Yeah. We don't plant them, they grow by themselves, by air, by rain, and also by animal. But what it does to the tree, when they take over the tree, it will kill the tree and it will take place. So it's called the Strangler ficus tree. Though we are here to preserve all the trees. But this tree is very, very useful tree. You can use it to design your table, your chairs, and also walking stick. That's why we don't cut them off. So over here, we have the nursery department. We nurse the younger ones to replace the old ones. And we sell part of them as well. So when we look at our swimming right, you can see I've taken over the cedar odoranta tree. So the cedar odoranta tree inside is dead. The old thing that we are saying is the strangler ficus tree that have taken over the cedar odorata tree. Okay, so shall we go there?
Ate that tree up.
Okay. So over here, this is the strangler ficus tree that have taken over the cedar odorata tree. So you can see from the middle, the cedar odorata tree is rotting inside. It's no more, it's gone to that. Okay. So this is what the strangler ficus tree does normally to a lot of trees in the botanical garden.
This is a parasite.
Parasite, yeah.
So what happens when the tree is gone?
There's going to be hollow from the ground up to the top. Yeah. So the tree, we don't do anything to the tree. But those who do the carving work, they use it to design their tables, their chairs, and also walking stick as well.
So the parasite still has roots?
Yeah, it still have a root. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So this is purely nature. Okay. So we are going to visit the share nut tree. Okay, the tree in front of us is called the share nut tree. And it's origin from South Savannah, Africa, the Sudanese, the Burkinabes, and also the Guineas. And this is the seed of the share nut tree. There is a fruit around it. The fruit is edible. You eat the fruit around it, you get to the seed. It's the seed that they use to produce the shea butter product for our skin and also for our hair. Okay. And also when you travel to the northern part of Ghana, this is what they use to fry their chicken, their yam, and preparing of their jollof rice. More than the southern part of Ghana, they use it as their vegetable cooking oil. Okay. So shall we receive the tree? So it's origin from India. The Indian people call it money plant. That brings that will produce any money. So any time that you come across this kind of plant, it's called money plant or tree nut. It's origin from India. And you can eat the seed raw. And so when we turn to our right side, there's a very huge tree here, go by the name, the monkey paw tree. You can see a lot of pods at the top of the tree. The tree naturally produces a pod. So I'm going to show you some of the pods. So the one that is not ripe is not open. The one that is ripe is open. So I'll quickly show you some of the pods.
Play with these all day long.
Right.
So are we done with the mimosa plant? Okay, so when we are done with the mimosa plant, there is another plant here go by the name jackfruit.
From all over Africa. So they would go into what we know as Niger, the Congo, Mali, Burkina Faso, and they would bring them to these different ports along the coast of West Africa. So that's why you would see Senegal, you would see in Bunce Island in Sierra Leone, you would see here, Elmina and Cape Coast in Ghana. Then when you would go to Togo and Benin, you would have different dungeons and houses there, and then you would go into Nigeria, into Cameroon, into Gabon, Angola was huge. There's a place where they would, I guess, export the enslaved, and they would take them into Brazil. So what you're seeing is how they would walk them, because there were no wagons, there were no cars. They would walk them to these different dungeons. And so whatever our DNA, so if we see Congo strong, or if we see Mali, chances are they pass through one of these types of dungeons along the coast of West Africa. And that's why it's so important to get this context, and that's what you're going to learn about when we go inside. So take a look at the wall, and it'll give you some perspective, and then we'll go.
Okay.
No, you got a TV.
Don't worry. I wasn't basically coming on tour today, but I remember something. I have to rush here. So basically, this is something that you have to know. You'll be going to many tourist sites in the country, and there's this one word that will be always spoken to you. That is what I'm saying. Ago. Ago basically means may I have your attention. So when you are ready, you respond by saying Amen.
Amen.
So can we do it? Ago.
Amen.
Ago.
Amen.
Wow. I'm so much excited. I see myself as a prophet because I believe that it is my role to help us bridge the gap between you and I. Because one, FBI and President of the US of A, Hoover, made a comment. He said the most single threat of US security is when Negroes become united. I don't know why he said that, but when you think of it, and you think of it deeply, you will know that there is something about you that they know, that maybe we also know. But for us as blacks, we are so stubborn that we don't listen to ourselves and we don't even look at what is in us. We always want somebody somewhere to tell us, this is who you are. It shouldn't happen like that. We should rather tell the people who we are. And sometimes I look at it and I always say to myself, sometimes it's not because of any fault of any one of you here, but it's something that sometimes when you are privileged to get connected with your ancestor and the Most High, sometimes you do get many revelations. When I started working here, I didn't know who I was. I was basically going through thick and thin, everything that you call Kofi is here to do. Until one day that I knew one thing about myself, that being happy is not about the material things that you have. It is only about knowing yourself. So I've encountered so many races coming to this site. And I don't get offended. You know why? Because I know myself. And everything that I say to you, I know why I'm saying to you, and I can back it up with what you believe in. So which basically means we read extensively. Okay. There is this saying that I would always want us to, whether it's a myth or I don't know how to call it, but I want us to try to put that thing to sleep as Africans or as Africans living in the diaspora, which is very important. Why would they say to us that when you want to write something from a black person, you put it in the books? Why do they say that to us? You see, there are many things that they say to us that should conscientize us to make us ask questions about our own selves. Is it that there are many books that are written that is about you, but because you don't read, you don't see it as you, and you see it as how people portray it to be to you? I am not a Christian. I worship God. I can never be like Christ. When you read the Bible, it was made to believe that when somebody slaps this side of you, you turn this side for that person to slap it. For me, when you slap this side, I also slap you in return. So because that is why I said, so I can never be like Christ. So I'm not like Christ. But I know I have, I have somebody who is so superior that I always have to worship. And I do worship that person. So African Our religion is African traditional religion. Traditional religion is not a religion. It is something that we were born into. It is our culture, our norms, and our traits. So whenever you are born in a particular geographical area, that traits, that values, and that norms are imposed and imbibed in you. So certain things you cannot change it. I had a group that came over here from America, and they were one of us. That's why I said I know myself, so sometimes I don't get pissed off. So I told them, can we pour libation? I don't know whether you know what libation is. Libation is a form of African prayer that we pour ram on the ground to thank our ancestors and the more Almighty God for everything that has happened to us. So when I told them let's do that, they asked me a very beautiful but irritating question. They said, this is not good. Why do you have to do it? Then I said, oh, don't worry, I'll tell you why you have to do it. Africans are genetically coded. Our DNA is the same thing. So we do things that all Africans do. But sometimes, because of the separation, we do certain things that we don't really understand. But when we bridge that gap and we bring the pieces together, we would understand things better. So I told him, look, the point of libation is something that you do always. And it was like, how? I said, you always do this. You go to the club, or you go to the drinking bar, you go to the pub, you buy yourself a bottle of beer, whiskey, I don't know, tequila, I don't know, whatever you have. And you put some, you say, hey, to my homie, you pour it on the ground. What do you think you're doing? You're doing the same thing that we're doing here, but you just don't understand why you are doing that. You are doing that because you are giving drinks to those people who have been so good to you. And you are telling them, please, be good to me wherever you find yourself in. Because we know there is difference between spirits and difference between human beings. So if you are in the spirit realms and something comes for me in the spirit realms, please be always good to me wherever you find yourself. So because of that, there are certain things that we need to know about ourselves so that whenever we are walking, we should walk with our chest high and we should walk like kings and queens. I had one guy who was, I don't want to use the word racism, because you know why? Because most of them are circumstances of systems. They just don't know, and because somebody have just brainwashed them, they are just going on with it. So they although they proclaim to be racist, but sometimes when you have an opportunity to teach them, they will know, wow, this is the truth. And the truth is the truth. There's nothing that you could do about the truth. So in the tour, I said something to him. Maybe you guys will dispute that, but I said to him, Africans are the ones with the highest of intelligence quotient. Do you agree or not? When I said to him, he was rude, said all sorts of things to me. I wasn't listening because I've said what I want to say. Then it further went on to say, can I give him references or research references that have proven that indeed we have the most of intelligent quotient? Because he was doing everything to me. I didn't say anything to him. So he asked me for scholar answer to my question. But before I said that, I said it right in me, but I don't have any research back in it. But when he asked me that question, I was like, I said to my spirit, don't make me disgrace today. Give me an answer to this man, so that with that answer, I could be able to teach this man something that he doesn't know. They don't know what happened. The person told me, the voice told me, ask this man this question. Is he a Christian or not? Then I asked the man, are you a Christian? He said yes. And I said, okay. So you believe in the Bible? He said yes. Okay, I said, then I'll use the same Bible to prove to you that we have the grace. He said, carry on. So I needed to put him through some phases before we could come back so that he could understand better. So you know what I said to him? I said, have you heard this phrase from the black people, that we are God's chosen people? Have you heard that? He said, yes, but it's also a matter of another day. And I said, okay. Now, do you believe in dreadlocks, Rastafarians, and other things? No, this is yours. This can never be part of me. That was what he was saying. This is us. It's not something to do with them. So which means everything dreadlocks and Rasta doesn't come from them, but it comes from us African. I said, okay, if that is the case, and you are a Christian, let's go to the Bible. The Bible teaches us that there was one man called King Solomon. I hope most of you have heard of King Solomon. The Bible teaches us that. I don't read the Bible to be a religious tool. The Bible is everything about us. When you read the Bible, it's everything about us, from the Genesis to Revelation. And whenever God reveals himself in the Bible, there is one thing. Our importance as Africans is this. This is our identity that connects us with God. Because their hair is silk and ours is wool. So whenever God appears, they said his hair is as white as a wool, not as a silk.
Preach, man, preach.
Yeah. So when I talk about King Solomon in the Bible, then I told him, why don't you read Solomon chapter 5 verse 6? Let's see what is there.
Right.
He said, okay. I called one guy who was having the phone, and I said, do you have a Bible on your phone? I don't have a Bible on my phone. Do you have a Bible on your phone? He said, yes. Can you read it for us? And what? He said, I have a black bushy hair with locks. Then I asked him, he said Solomon is having all the wisdom in this world. Solomon is telling you that he has a black bushy hair with the same lock which you told me is not part of you. So if my direct descendant is King Solomon, and I have every right to tell you that in terms of intelligent quotient, I have more than you do. This guy never said it. We were just standing. Then I realized he couldn't say anything. I said, don't worry, I'll preach on. I want to preach on. And I told him, you take us through segregation, you took us through slavery, you took us through racism, taking us through discrimination, making the system so difficult for us to have our way. When we had our way in the US of A, we were making millionaires and we were going at a fast pace, and you bombed us. You did all this to us, and sometimes in your devilish corner, you always ask yourself this question: why are these people always stronger, no matter what you're doing to them? And I told you, the reason is that we are brave and stronger. And our strength cometh from a man in your Bible called Samson. Samson was seen as the one with all the strength and the power in this world. And Samson was having something that makes him us. Samson was having 7 locks on his hair. So when you don't understand my strength cometh from the same person you taught me has all the strength. It was just speechless looking at me. And I said, I'll tell you something about our spirituality as Africans. Our spirituality is very, very, very important, because it is our spirituality that is keeping us to still stand firm no matter all this oppression. And it's not because of our strength. If you have all the strength and somebody points guns at you, you die, you've gone. But your spirituality says more. Because you didn't come here just another day to see another country. You come here to spiritually connect with your roots, your source, and yourself. So I told them, in your Bible, there was one man called Jesus Christ. Don't be deceived. You walk in the streets of Ghana, and you're going to see a whole lot of white Jesus walking all around. I always rely on this, not because you are born in Africa that makes you an African. You are only African if African is born in you. I told him, when Jesus Christ was coming from a land called Nazareth, it was a Nazarene. There are some traits that every Nazarene should possess. I don't want to preach too much. I want to give you an assignment. Don't read the Bible as a religious tool. Read it as yourself. Find yourself a mirror. Stand in front of that mirror. Open your Bible to Numbers chapter 6. Read from Numbers chapter 6 to Numbers chapter 10. It's telling you who a Nazarene is. What makes you a Nazarene, your traits, and everything about you that makes you a Nazarene. Whilst reading, look yourself in the mirror. And you realize that everything that is said in there, it is you. That was why when Jesus Christ was born from the Nazareth, the same people said something about Jesus Christ which you guys are not putting your mind to. They asked themselves, will anything better come out of the land of Nazareth?
Go ahead, man.
Do you think if the Nazareth people are coming from them, they would question the people that comes out from Nazareth? The same thing that they are saying to the Nazarene is the same thing that they are saying to us now. Will anything better come out from a black person? But look, in the US of A, they are just all, I don't want to use fools. Because the same thing that they put us through, they wake up early in the morning, they put on their suits, and they go to the White House. And they proclaim the White House is a symbol of America. So if the White House is a symbol of America, then the question is, who built the White House? Every documentation has proven that we built the White House. So if the White House is a symbol of America, and we built the White House, then definitely we have to be the symbol of America.
Hello.
But it's just that, I told you, it's because they tell us we don't read, and we also believe, and because we believe, we just don't go in reading. But when we do dig deep a little, there's so many revelations that will come out. And those revelations is something that is there for us to take. I don't want to continue preaching, but as I said, I have to blame my senior brother. Yes, because this particular site is a sacred grounds. You've come from everywhere to be here. Even whilst coming, the system was not so much beautiful for you to come, because they don't want you to come and listen to many things. So for you to be able to come here, why should I start a tour in a sacred grounds without pouring libation and praying and asking for your protection and your well-being? But I can't do that unless I have a bottle of rum, so that I could give our ancestors a drink. This is your drink. Malcolm X, this is your drink. So do not truth, this is your drink. Kwame Nkrumah Aratugman, this is your drink. Your children have come to you today. Your children are so conscious to know where they are coming from. Your children knows that there is a need for us to write our own story. Your children have accepted to forgive us for the wrongs that we've done to them. Your children are here, and all that we pray, our wishes and aspirations should be materialized. Our dreams should be fulfilled. The good Lord should always bless us in every way that we do. The battle is still on, but we don't have any strength to fight this battle. We don't have any energy. Our energy and our strength are so down that we cannot even motivate ourselves any longer. But as we have come to you, we are praying that every strength and endurance that you add to go through all this, may you give us same, so that we could fight and fight a good battle. Also, those that don't want us to prosper as Africans, those that don't want us to see the light, we pray that they should see the darkness so that we will see the light. But those that will say to us, we don't want you to see the darkness, but we want you to die in order not to see the light, then for me, I don't bless those people. I always ask them to also die so that we will see the light. But it's all prayer, and I know this prayer our ancestors have answered. And now we're going to start with the talk. Before I start with the talk, we always observe a minute of silence, but it always changes. my tour is not just a fixed tour. The motivation and the inspiration that I have tells me what to do. So, I could see we have 3 beautiful ladies, and so far as they are ladies, I could say they have beautiful voices. Don't worry, we the men, sometimes our voice is bad, but we can just factor in somewhere. So sometimes we do resort to singing one song to let our ancestors know and fuel our energy that we've come back. Sometimes we sing songs like lift up your voice and sing da, 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 da. So you want us to go with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So I think I'm going to be the conductor. I'll just be doing like this, and I'll just be backing you out. And whenever you wake up early in the morning and you're going to your work, you have a manual to follow. The black anthem, just read and practice whatever is in there. That is all. So, yes, the singing is the worst, but I know how to back it up. Okay, so we all want one lady to give us a beautiful tune, so that we'll try backing it up. Listen, in here, every voice is sweet. Because if I sing for you to listen, you're going to run away. So yours is better than mine. So don't be scared. Just let them know. Let them know that we are here. That's all.
To earth and heaven ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicing rise high as the listing skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the darkness has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
Yes, that is how you have vindicated me that we don't read, because we have our own anthem and we don't even give a fuck.
Oh, hey.
We just don't think about it. But if I tell you to sing a song from Lewin, you're going to sing it and sing it and sing it and sing it. Like a lollipop. But don't worry, that is why we are here, so that we'll get those things that we've not done it right, we're going to do it right.
Yes, sir.
Now, Asen Manso, this particular site played a pivotal role during the trade. It was seen as a slave market, but not just a slave market, but the biggest of the slave market in the Gold Coast, now called Ghana. Many historians have made documentations on Asen Manso. Our historian, a great historian who works for UNESCO, in the person of Akosia Adoma Pebi, documented it in his book, Indigenous Slavery in Ghana, from the 16th century to the 19th century. Our very own Professor J.E. Akwanda also said same in his book, The Transatlantic Slave Trade, Landmark, Legacies and Expectations. Two markets played the most significant role. We have one called the Salaga market. The Salaga market is at the northern part of Ghana, and Asen Manso in here because it is closer to the Cape Coast dungeons than that of the Salaga market. So, before the coming of the Europeans, we were having a form of slavery that were practiced in here. When kingdoms became selfish and were so egocentric on their thinking. They wanted all the power for themselves, all the wealth for themselves, and they wanted everything for themselves. So communities started fighting each other to gain territorial advantages. So when I am able to capture your land, I have you as my prisoners of war. And the same prisoners of war were the same people that support the local economy. Because they work in the mines, they work in everywhere in the community, and even some are integrated into the chieftaincy system of the community because they found out that those people were having some kind of wisdom that needs to be integrated in the society. People say it is an indentured type of slavery. People always say it is an employer-employee relationship. But there's no justification to it because everything slavery is slavery. So when the Portuguese arrived in 1871, they saw what was going on. So when they discovered a new world in 1892, they were having white Indians who were working on those plantations. They weren't strong, they were weak, they couldn't stand the tropical conditions, and they were dying left, right, and center. So one Portuguese priest in a person of Bartolomeu de las Casas, he was the proponent of the transatlantic slave trade. Because it said, why don't we rather use these people to rather work on those plantations? Because we could see that they are so strong, they are so obedient, and they could work. So some of the chiefs also argued. Ours that were here, they were like friends to us. They go to work, they come together, we get integrated, we have fun and everything. But we didn't know that there was a different form of slavery outside. We didn't know it was so much brutalities and other things that were accompanied to it. But for me, I'm not even here to justify what the chiefs did. So, this Portuguese priest was the same priest that proposed the transatlantic slave trade. Now, there's something that I want you to put in mind. I don't have answers to it, so don't ask me. But I want you to also think about it. When you go to Cristobal Castle at Accra, in Osu, right on top of the dungeon, there was a church. When you go to Cape Coast Dungeon, I'm sure you'll be going there later. Right on top of the dungeon, there is a church. When you go to the Elimina Castle, right on top of a dungeon, there is a church. Almost all the forts and castles that they built in here, right on top of the dungeon, there is a church. I don't know why there is a church. Because for me, I know churches teaches good doctrines. So why can you praise somebody, God, on top of some people who are suffering down there? I don't know why they did that. And I don't know, when I'm giving my answers to it, we are not going to end up the thought today. But just think of it. So, captives that were captured from the upper borders of Ghana, like some parts of Burkina Faso, some parts of Ivory Coast, and in the northern part of Ghana, those that were captured were first put into their chains and their shackles, and they were made to march to the Salaga market at the north. It was in the Salaga market that they were given something small to eat, something small to drink, because they knew the journey from Salaga to Asin Manso is going to be a tough one for our forebears. So after taking the food, back into your chains and shackles, almost half naked. Some are even so tired with wounds all over because they rebelled, they fought before they were captured. So some will be coming with all wounds all around them, putting you back into your chains and shackles, and you are made to walk from Salaga to Asin Manso in here, which was 300 miles by foot. whilst we were coming, mind you, we were marching through the forest belt of the country. So majority of our brothers and sisters were attacked by wild animals. Some were attacked by lions, some were attacked by snakes. Because you are in chains and shackles, how can you protect yourself? Others got pricked and they have sores all on it, and because it wasn't treated, it infested a whole part of their body. And those people couldn't even continue with the trade. Some, almost everybody, majority who have the slightest chance, try to fight for their lives, and they call those people that they rebel. I don't see them as rebellious. I call them freedom fighters. They fought for their lives and they lost their lives along the way. So the journey from Salaga to Asinman, so majority of our brothers and sisters lost their lives on the way. So when they got to Obolo, so when they got to a river, when you're going to Kumasi from here, there's going to be a river on your way. The name of the river is the Pra River. The spelling is P-R-A, Pra River. So when I was doing a course in African Studies and also in the trade, when I saw the river, I was excited. I said, "Who? You know why?" Because while I was looking at the journey, I said to myself, I'm sure our ancestors needed some water to drink. I guess they needed some to sprinkle on themselves to gain their energy. So when I saw the river, I said, okay, at least we could fetch some to drink for those of us that feel thirsty. Or also, those that are so weak, we could at least sprinkle some on our body. Because we say water is what? It's life. Until I read further. And what I saw and what I read, I don't like to talk about it. That river was a death trap for us. When they go to the river, that is where our first sorting out took place. Those that were seen not marketable, those that have seen not strong enough, those that have some sickness and other things, they were brought out of their chains and shackles, and it was a survivor and a fittest, and they were pushed in the river to die. So majority of us lost our lives in that river. So every 31st day of July, we always go to that river to observe a vigil and mourn our ancestors. Because the following day, being the 1st of August, is when Ghana as a nation will celebrate our Emancipation Festival. The community that we've come today is called Asin Manso. Asin means, it's a tree word, which means people that are just passing through. So research has it, the majority of us that formed this community were some of the captives who managed to escape. But because we didn't know how to return to where we were captured, we formed part of this community. So in here, we don't celebrate any other festival apart from the festival that we always remember our ancestors. So when we were celebrating it until 1998, when meaning were given to our celebration that it should be celebrated as Emancipation Festival. So in here, that is the only festival that we celebrate every 1st of August. So this, when they landed here, this was where they took their last bath. This was where they were kept clean. This was where they were doing something small to feed. And when they done with that, those that couldn't make the journey were just killed. And those that could continue the journey were put back into their chains and shackles and off to the Cape Coast dungeons. But during that era, wherever you were captured, it was a match of no return. You're going from your roots and you're never ever coming back. So when you're taken through the dungeons at Cape Coast, there's a particular door with the inscription, the door of no return. That door is the end of a journey and the beginning of new experiences. With that door of no return, the words on the door is something that I love to read, so I understand the words on the door of no return. Because with the door of no return, they believed, they were so convinced that we are never ever going to make it alive to tell the story as it is. They followed us through slavery, they followed us in the plantation, they followed us through segregation, they followed us through discrimination, they followed us through racism, and we are still surviving. They believed that our culture and traditions as Africans will be claimed forever. But look at us. We are genetically coded, so diverse ways we portray our culture. The most important of all is to eliminate the African race from their setting. But today, you and I are conscious enough to know ourselves. We are conscious to know where we are coming from, and we are conscious to know those people that fought for us. So today, we are coming back to our roots as at when we love to return. So that door on the dungeons needs to be changed from the door of no return that suits them to the door of return which suits us. Because today, I have all of you here coming back to your roots as at when you love to come. And the ambassador even leading you here. You are today we are going to acknowledge your role in here. So don't worry, it's a surprise. Now, so how do we change? So I will be increasing my pace.
Now let's enter the one for the Africans. Then we can see the difference between the two syllables.
So this one for the Europeans that was accident on being drunk.
Okay, a lot is in there. So this is the difference now. This is a song for our ancestors. Some of the male captives in the male dungeons were not cowards, but any opportunity that they had, they were fighting for their freedom. So we got our freedom fighters. But Europeans saw that they were rebellious. In order to break them down, both psychological, emotional, and physical, these strong captives in the middle dungeons were removed, put them back in chains, and they brought them here. The door was locked. No food, no water, no ventilation. So no African came into the cell and returned alive or survived. That is what you saw the symbol of the skull and the crossbow, which means they were condemned to death. What was sudden at that time was the fact that you were in this cell dining, and you can see your fellow standing beside you, but there was not that he could do to help you out. The only opportunity that you may have to go out is only when your dead body is being removed by the soldiers and thrown into the sea. This door here, this metal close is meant for the soldier to look through to see if someone is dead. The door was opened, removed the corpse straight into the sea. That was what happened. And when you look here, you can see the scratches of the nose. As they were fighting for their survival, they were fighting for their freedom, they were fighting for their release, and they were shouting, screaming, help came from nowhere, except death. Now you can see the scratches of their nose on the walls. How many were hurt here? It could be 10. At any time that any of the female captives may still fight for their freedom. They saw you to be an enemy. They saw you to be a leader. So you have to be brought here. But despite that, some of them prefer to die on their own soil than to be taken to an unknown destination, because they never knew where they were taking them to. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
900 people.
Yeah. See.
So when the ship came, the men who survived in the dungeon, because all the rooms on the down floor were used as mill dungeons. So those who survived came out from the dungeons and they were re-examined physically by inspecting their teeth and all the physical features to see that still some of them were so strong for the journey. Moved them, put them back in chains, and they were just forced to walk, to go through the main transit dungeon, to get into the room of no return, to be shipped off. And today, we are going there to see the original door of no return. Let's move.
Another dungeon.
A step down. 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 Now this room is called the intercession room. Why intercession room? Now some of the captives that ended in the dungeons were families, were couples. But they were separated as the men were sent into the male dungeons, the women into the female dungeons. So for 1 month or 2 months they spent in the dungeons awaiting shipment. They never had the opportunity to see each other. So when the ship came, once the men came through the main transit dungeon as we came through, this is the female passage into the room of no return. So the women also came through the female passage. At that time there was a wooden staircase for them to descend before they ended in the room of no return. So this is the only point that coincidentally some of them may be fortunate to see a relative of theirs, or maybe a spouse, for the first time. If not, the chances of seeing each other was not there again. So from here, if he or she has taken the lead before it got your turn, it means you may not have the chances of seeing each other, because on the watching, they were put into separate holdings. Then we continue to the room of no return and see what also happened. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gotta stay low.
4 step down. 4 step down. Go ahead, lift up your head. Now this is the room of no return, and this is the door or the gate of no return, meaning any of our ancestors who came into this room or who went out through this door never in their lives came back into this dungeon, or returned home. We can see the difference in the door. Before the trading human beings began officially, the door itself was wide or bigger from this point to this point. Now when the attention shifted to the trading human beings, it was narrowed into this side. Why? Just to control the Africans. 2, for easy counting. 3, to dehumanize. But narrowing the door into this side did not suggest that some of our ancestors that were captured or that were going through this door were not strong or were not fought. They had these qualities among them. But being held in the dungeons for several days, weeks or months, they became too weak, shrink. Some of them became too thin or even go lean to go through this door. At that time, the ocean or the sea was touching this castle. But it was too shallow. So the ship docked some few meters away, used smaller canoes or boats to transport them from here into the boat ship in the holding below that they were parked. And the journey across the ocean to unknown destinations began, because they never knew where they were going. Today, the reason why the ocean or the sea is no longer touching this part is that at some point in time, this part was filled with sand just to have a level ground in order to protect the customer from the waves of the sea to avoid it being damaged. So that people will still benefit from the rich history of Elmina slave dungeon. This is what happened here. And you can see on the floor, a lot of flowers, wreaths, drinks. These were brought by people of African descent in diaspora. As part of their connectivity to their roots, they laid the wreath in memory of their ancestors.
And we have one here, and we're going to leave.
Anytime I come with people here, especially brothers and sisters in the diaspora, it reminds me of a famous quote written by one of our ancestors on the wall to one of the dungeons. Great. Until the lion has to go into the where the lion begins to give an account. Wow. The hunter will always be a hero. And today, all of us are here today as we reflect what our ancestors went through. As we listen, we experience what they went through. We can now reflect and begin to to share the experience of our ancestors to those who couldn't make it to this place.
Oh, sorry.
Now, we are now in the female slave quarter. All the rooms on the down floor were used as female dungeons, where women, female couples, together with children below 10 years were held. Note something. On top of this slave dungeon was the Dutch church, where the Dutch built their own church, claiming to worship God. On top of this slave dungeon was the governor's kitchen. On top of this slave dungeon was the officers' mess, where the governor, deputy governor, and the missionaries were eating and drinking. And on top of this side was the boardroom, where meetings were held by the Europeans to discuss issues related to the activity. And in this courtyard, we can see water reservoir. This was constructed by the Portuguese, which contained 20,000 gallons of rainwater. And at that time, water was harvested from the roof during rainy season. And that was what they used for domestic purposes. But the governor in charge of the castle, including the soldiers, and his deputy governor was taking advantage of these women captured in the dungeons and abusing them sexually. How? You can see Emma warning for the governor, where he normally comes to stand, gave orders to the soldiers to open the gate of the dungeon for all the women to come out. They assembled here as we have gathered here today. So at the top, he just looked down and made a selection. but the one selected had been in the same dungeon for several days, weeks, or months without bathing and brushing her teeth. So water will be fetched from the reservoir for the one chosen by the governor to bath. And after bathing, she was given something small to cover herself. Then, this is a secret passage into the governor's bedroom. So you can see the staircase from here. So, the one chosen by the governor was fought by the soldiers to climb the staircase. When she got into the governor's bedroom, she was raped by the governor. After this act, she returned to the same dungeon awaiting shipment. So anytime the ship was available to transport them away, they were screened by the ship surgeons or physicians to separate those who had become pregnant. And those who became pregnant were taken into town, where they built stone houses for them to occupy until delivery. And they gave birth to the mulattoes, the light-skinned colored children. When you visited the museum, you saw pictures of light-skinned colored children. There's a lot of them in this community, like Caicos in Accra. And they gave them European names. That is why the coastal regions of Ghana has more of European names like Van Dyke, Veron, Patterson, Yankton, and etc. But these children, whilst they were growing up from the age of 4 to 5 years, they brought them here to be educated, to be taught of their own respective language. So from that moment onwards, they began to brainwash them that they are not Africans, because their color was different from the ones in the dungeons. And all the privileges available they enjoyed, whilst the others were still suffering from the dungeons. And as a result, they grew up, took several positions in the dungeons, or in the castle, once they worked with the Europeans to achieve their goal. What happened to the mothers? Two things happened. Some of them continued to be concubines to the so-called soldiers or the government. So anytime they wanted or they want to satisfy the sexual libido, they just use them for that purpose. And some of them were just allowed to go back, but some were being captured from present-day Nigeria, Benin, or the northern part of Ghana. How could she return? That was impossible. So at the end, she could be recaptured by a different person and be sold into slavery. Now some of the famous slaves who resisted rape, you can see the cannonball.
Oh, sorry.
So any of the female couples who resisted, who refused to get into the governor's bedroom and suffer rape, as punishment, was changed to the cannonball for 24 hours. And at that time, the balls used to be 8 cannonballs, and there were chains connected. So once you proved, or once you decided not to go, you'll be chained to it to serve as warning to the others. So that anytime you are being caught, you have no option than to comply. Else, the same punishment will also be meted as to you. Imagine a woman already weak in the dungeon, be standing in the scorching sun or rain without food and water for 24 hours. I don't think, even if she is released, she may survive in the coming days. Now let's walk through dungeons and see how they were treated in the Minister dungeon. So about 150 female captives were housed on this floor. And this is the same floor that they were slaving, lying, defecating, urinating, vomiting, and menstruating. And this door was locked. So the floor was full of human feces, waste, urine, blood, and vomit, and created a small ventilation hole over there, which connects to the magazine where the guns and the gunpowder were kept. So in case of any leakage, all the chemicals get inside, which worsened the condition of the dungeon. So, in the long run, it increased the mortality rate of the dungeon. The only difference between Cape Coast slave dungeon and that of Elmina slave dungeon is this. Cape Coast slave dungeon was built purposely for the trading human beings. It was built with the peak of slavery. But this one, as I said earlier, was built before, but later on it was converted into a slave dungeon. That is why the dungeon of this is different from that of Cape Coast. Cape Coast is more horror and terrible when it comes to the floor. But at the same time, similar things are happening here. Initially, they used all the rooms on the down floor of the whole courtyard as storerooms. But when slavery began, they just converted all the storerooms into dungeons where our ancestors were kept.
Is that smell still the gunpowder?
Yes. Female dungeons and 120 female captives of our ancestors were kept on the floor. And you can see the original floor of this dungeon too. And all these red bricks were imported from Portugal, and the yellow ones were brought from Holland. The materials used in the construction of the slave dungeon were brought from either Portugal or Holland. Now, you can see some clothes and chains on the floor. These are not the original chains or clothes that our ancestors that were captured were using. But in 2016, a program was held here entitled The Return of the Slaves, where some people volunteered to reenact the story of the dungeon. So during the reenactment, the clothes were used to cover their private parts as they tried to direct how our ancestors were using animal skin to cover their private parts when they were captured. And the chains were put to themselves, slept on the floor for 12 hours. After 12 hours of reenactment, the experience was traumatic and unbearable. Mosquito bite was all over their body, and the stench that was emanating from the urine and the vomiting was indeed unbearable. So the question that people ask themselves was, if 12 hours in this dungeon was traumatic, what about our ancestors who spent about a month or 2 months in the same dungeon and waiting shipment? One could not imagine what they might have gone through. And from that moment onwards, people began to appreciate the suffering of our ancestors, the sweat of our ancestors. And on top of this dungeon was the Dutch church. So we go to the top now. Yes. It is, as I showed you there, for her to come up straight into the bedroom of the governor. Let me try to lift it up for you to see. It's still working. Very heavy.
This is where the women will come up.
So from here, you walk straight into the bedroom of the governor, and we are going there to see.
Okay. Right. Wow.
Officer's mess.
Officer's mess.
Yeah, it was full of mess.
That's right. Couldn't have said it better. Right. Couldn't have said it better.
original boards, none of the boards had been changed. Because their woods, they're rotten, so with time we need to replace it with both the top and the down are not original. Anything wooden that you may see whilst we are going around is not original.
Literally, your waves, they're so strong and intense. The waves,
It is a church for the Dutch people or for the Netherlands. You can see it's written or Dutch. Psalm 122, verse 14 or 16, one of them. Zion is the resurrection of God. According to the Dutch, if any of them, if anybody wants to worship God, the person must come into this building. And beneath is a slave journey where our ancestors were found, where they were also suffered, and they never cared about them. So, the whole law was used for church service. Let's go.
Yeah, he walked down here. Wow. Right. I don't see how anyone could, see.
Not bothered.
Right, not bothered. What's doing? Yeah.
Dead bodies going up.
Right.
The people that got buried, they dig them up and throw them up.
Right. That's right. I believe it. Yeah. It's just, to do people like that. That's yeah. Yeah, they were wrong. They were so wrong.
Now, these weapons are cannons. And at that time, they used these cannons for defensive purposes against external forces and slavery. Each European power or nation had to protect herself against their competitors. In order to do so, the cannons were used as weapons. And when fired, the cannonball could travel a distance of 2 to 3 kilometers at a range. And indeed, you may be scared to come closer to the castle. And another defensive tool that they use is the moat. You can see the outer moat and the inner moat. And these moats were filled with seawater to prevent enemies from coming inside. So in the evening, the drawbridge over there was lifted up. So any attempt to come inside the castle, you may fall into the seawater and you will be arrested by the soldiers. The 4 square yellowish diagram down there served as a compass. It also served as a time zone or a sundial. So in order for them to see the time of the day, a lamp pole was put at the center, and the shadow of it was used to tell the time of day. On top of the hill on my left is a fort called Fort Jago, built by the Dutch in the year 1665 to serve as a military base for their soldiers to be stationed over there in order to protect this castle against enemies who may come from inland. So it served as a military base for the Dutch, because from the seaside or from the sea.
You have enjoyed 2 seconds the count of the chorus. One dominating chord, you can hear it playing. And that is the cricket. Have you heard of a cricket?
Yeah.
Good. They are one of the fascinating creatures we have in the forest. It's just a tiny insect that makes this stridulation. The sound you hear goes beyond the ordinary sound you can
Is that this
listen.
one right here that's the longest? Like that one. Yeah.
So the sound you hear goes beyond the ordinary sound. There's something it is communicating to us about what is happening in the environment. Crickets stridulate depending on the temperature and a chemical reaction that causes the stridulation. So in the work of Arrhenius, he studied and found how temperature is dependent on the call or the sound of the cricket. So he developed an equation that you can naturally compute for the temperature by merely listening to the cricket. And this is scientifically accepted work. And he titled it the cricket as a thermometer. There are two kinds of calls. We have the chirping and the stridulation. If it was to be the stridulation, we could have all joined in computing for the temperature, and we could verify with the device to see that the insect will never lie. It will only produce the sound as much as the existing or the ambient temperature would enable it. These are among other features of rainforest.
What you looking at?
Right.
What you see?
One stop.
I could hear a sound.
Yeah, we heard one too.
Probably we are lucky, or we may be lucky to encounter one of the species we have in Kakum.
Is it the colorless?
In the United States, we run.
When you hear that, you don't run. Just calm down and relax.
See how they got us? See what they did to us over there?
Myself, I'm willing to see something. We have to see or hear more. So we are about entering the rainforest. Can you see something? Can you see?
Oh, we're entering it.
You think can we see something?
So
Something
we are
flying.
about entering Kakum rainforest. And as I talk to you, it's a unique biodiversity area in West Africa. The size of Kakum Park is 360 square kilometers. That's equivalent to about 210 square mile or 36,000 hectares of rainforest. Kakum is a home to many globally endangered animals, such as the forest elephant. In Kakum, we don't know the total elephant yet, but the last time we had the census, we were able to record 219 elephants in Kakum. Probably believe there are more than that. We also have antelopes, duikers, porcupine. Altogether, we have 7 primate species, including the bush baby. Have you heard of the bush baby?
No.
Oh, such a cute nocturnal species.
They're here?
Yeah, they are here.
Where we are, okay.
They are in the forest. They could occur virtually at any space, any habitat, any layer. Bush babies are just cute. That's earning the name bush baby. You see them with
What family are they from? What they look like, monkeys or what?
Yeah, primates.
Okay,
So that is human, our relatives. They have unique facial appearances with distinctive makeup and eyelashes. Yeah, so amazing.
That's why they be ordering all these
Yeah.
lashes.
That is why I recommend that everybody should at least see a bush baby in their lifetime. You can Google to find how it looks like. We have bush babies, we have colobusses, we have Mona monkeys, and the Dana monkey. We also have carnivores such as the leopards, civet cat, genet, some mongooses, and we also have honey badgers in Kakum. The ungulates consist of bongos, duikers, and other antelopes such as the royal antelope and the Maxwell duiker. All these species we have here. Duikers are West African specialized species that are located in West African rainforest. Bird life, we have 264 confirmed bird species of Kakum, and it's edible.
Edible?
Even though I'll not recommend you to eat because of allergy, but I can eat for you to see.
Okay. And we'll watch and see if it cuts.
Your lip not gonna get swollen.
Okay.
Yeah, back cloth tree. The back of this tree long ago was used to make cloth. So those days people would wear the back of a plant or animal skin. When temperatures are cold, they would wear animal skin. On a higher temperature, they wear the back of the cloth because it's lighter, airy, and you feel more comfortable wearing it in hot weather. Or a liana. We call it Griffonia simplicifolia. It bears fruit and the fruit has seeds. The seed can be chewed and it's known to contain what we call HTP, hydroxyl tryptophan. When you chew it, your body is able to convert it into serotonin, which is in the form of amino acid. Calms you down and improves your mood. So if you are depressed, you have anxiety, sleeping disorder, hot flashes, chew this serotonin.
Give us the whole tree.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
You need to take that tree home.
Yeah.
That's some tiger knot.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this is limited to the rainforest.
Yeah.
Companies, pharmaceutical companies buy directly from the farmers or the local people, and they have kind of agreement with them. You get it for me, I'll pay you. It's difficult to find it in the market.
Somebody, it's valuable because somebody marked this tree. I can see the mark. Somebody put a mark. I do the same thing when I'm in the woods. I mark my trail. And somebody marked this spot.
Oh.
There it is right there.
I see.
No, right here.
Good.
Oh.
Somebody put that there.
Okay.
Yeah, to mark the trail.
Wow.
Yeah, and right here too. Those are marked. Somebody, humans do that.
All right. So
you better make sure your tree here next time you come.
Right.
Yeah.
I'll bring something to market.
Yeah.
Or move they sticks.
Move they sticks, yeah. Throw them out there.
Also another tree. This is called Daniela ogai. Daniela ogai. And you may have heard of it in another way. If you are Christian, then you definitely may have heard of a story about Jesus Christ. When Jesus was born, according to the Bible, in Luke, 3 gifts were presented to him: gold, myrrh, and the last one?
Frankincense.
Good. So we get frankincense from this tree. So that's the frankincense tree.
Wow, we saw the myrrh, and now this is the frankincense tree.
Frankincense too. We got some frankincense.
How does it look like?
We got some frankincense.
So frankincense is the sap of the tree that oozes out, dries, and solidifies. You may want to find out traditional use of frankincense long ago and even today. Now we have the antiseptic sanitizers, but those days you put frankincense in water to protect you from infections. It kills microbes and other infections. If you burn frankincense, it is known to purify the air. That is why in some churches it is burnt where there are more people so that the air will be purified. It also smells good to many people.
I'm carrying some.
It also has spiritual significance. As much as Africans are concerned, the spiritual aspect cannot be left out. It also has spiritual significance. So no wonder the 3 wise men presented one of the wisest gifts at the time of Jesus' birth. And that is a rainforest plant. Lots of information are up there. You can see some vines which are big enough. This is how they get sponge to bath. If you have any of this and you bake it, particle will loose and it will exist in the form of lines. You curl them around and you can make a sponge out of it. It's really soft, massaging sponge that can suit all your massage needs when you use it to bath. And there are plants in the forest whose water lathers with whose sap lathers with water to form soap. You can bath with the soap. There are also trees you can burn to make ashes. That you can make a kind of soda to make your soap and soap related products. See him. He's standing in front of a tree we call cola tree. And you can see the tree behind him. That is a cola tree. You may have heard of cola. You may have heard of cola. It has caffeine, caffeine and theobromine. And cola nut is one of the best plants and valued in Africa because of its medicinal properties. It's good for the heart, it's good for stomach, and then your circulatory system. In the early 1900, I think an American by name George Pemberton, he had stomach complications, but he knew more about plants, so he began messing up plant extracts to help himself, which he ultimately invented the Coca-Cola. So those days, history has it that Coca-Cola was once sold in the pharmacy companies, and even today, some doctors do recommend it as a home. Maybe if you have upset stomach or some motion sicknesses and stuff, you do Coca-Cola.
And you put cocaine in it too.
Yes, in coca.
You put cocaine in it.
Is it in the plant? It's not in the plant.
No.
He added it.
That's why it's not good.
That's why everybody's addicted to it now.
Exactly.
Yeah, because of the caffeine to addiction.
You kill acid with this stuff. Work acid with Coke. Why would you drink that?
You put cocaine in it.
But we all like Coca-Cola, and it's originating from the forest.
That's an edit.
Was done by 2 Canadians with assistance from Ghanaian local engineers. It was a 6-month project funded by the US aid.
And we made one of these bridges before.
Okay.
In Laos. They took some people that was trapped in a mountain, and we built a bridge just like this.
Wow. Great. So that is it. 350 meters, you cross to the other end. There are 2 parts. Either you decide to do the longest part, which is 350 meters, or do shorter route, which is just about 120 meters. The height for the 350 meters, you will reach 120 feet high, or 40 meters high. For the short, you only maintain 11 meters height, so you hit the exit. Very safe and safe for everyone to do. No matter your weight, you can do it. See me, I'm sure you're not heavier than I do, but I go every day, so you can also do it. You do it one after the other. You let him go. When he gets there, you can turn and then get a good video of us all. Take the opportunity to look around you, admire nature, and appreciate the forest. If you feel scared, just ignore and keep moving.
I'm gonna get to the other side video of you coming across.
I ain't even looked at it. I might not make it.
I think we can start going. We put ourselves into 2 groups. First group and second group.
Yeah, once you get on, I'm gonna go on this side. And I'll video you coming across.
Well, I ain't coming that fast. Oh. Never mind.
So next can follow. Next person can follow.
Y'all trusted me thus far.
Yeah.
I'm not scared you're wrong yet.
Yeah.
And if it's too much, you can detour to the left when you get to the end.
Please, can you just wait?
Sure.
Yeah. We are overtaking the angle now.
Okay. All right.
You, brother. Let's go.
Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, we're doing okay. Okay. Okay, head over there. Okay, over there. Okay. Back up here. Woo. Alright. Man. Okay. Oh boy, that board is broken. Alright. Okay, okay. Wow. Okay. Alright, they made it over there. I'm almost there. Oh gosh. Wow. Okay.
You good, man. Y'all made it through the first.
Ooh.
Close, you dropped it. Oh, okay. But if you go ahead and go take 10 steps and then we'll.
Okay.
About 10 steps later.
He left us. No. He didn't go? No, I don't know where he went. Who? The tour guide.
He's assisting.
Oh.
Because when we are so close, it bounces
the
more.
footwork, yeah.
Alright, here we go. Wow.
I thought we only had to do one.
Oh boy. Oh. Wow.
You good out there?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man.
Oh boy. It's alright.
Stuff you find yourself doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was an African adventure.
Yeah.
Go back.
Okay.
Say, wait a minute. Say, he done had us out here on this stage.
Yeah, man. Ooh.
On the rooftop. This is a different kind of rooftop.
Yeah, yeah. I guess I need to speed up some. Oh boy. Oh. Man. Yeah. Ooh. Boy. Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Please enjoy the trees.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, while I'm out here. You see all this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Enjoy
Yeah.
the view.
We're just gonna stop for a second. Yeah, what was that? Something like, hold on, see, no, this ain't, I don't know about this. Something's pop. Oh man. Whoo.
Enjoy the view.
Okay.
Hey, you keep going.
What?
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh gosh.
Don't stop.
Woo.
I mean, you need a break, you know. That's fine.
Okay. Alright, we made it over.
Yeah.
Talk about nervous.